Hi, and welcome back, or welcome if you're new here. I'm Taryn, and in today's video, we're diving into how to create a clean, professional-looking document using Canva AI. You can build so many things like workbooks, guides, or even downloadable freebies. If you're brand new to Canva, be sure to check out my first video linked below to get familiar with the basics before jumping in. Now, let's go build something that's useful, polished, and uniquely yours without having to spend hours in front of the screen. Let's get started. All right, so we are on Canva's dashboard and we are going to head to the top part of the toolbar. As you can see, we have the option to select your designs, templates, or Canva AI. And Canva AI is where we are going to go. This is where you can start any AI projects within Canva. You'll see as you click the icon, your dashboard changes a little bit. So some things that I am just going to point out for right now is when you've clicked on Canva AI, a few recommended suggestions come up to help you get started with whatever project you are looking to build. So if you want to design something like a social post or logo, that's what you would select. If you wanted to create an image, there's obviously a create an image option. Today we are drafting a document, like I said, so we are going to select draft a document. And I also want to note that there is the newest feature with Canva AI, which is code for me. So I'm very excited to get into that. But today we are going to go ahead and select draft a document. And what I want you to notice is what happens on the bottom part of this dashboard where it says see what you can do with AI. Now that we've selected draft a document, you can see that your options that they come up with are a lot different, but they're more focused on something that is document based. So you may want to just select one of these if they are in alignment with what you are looking to create. What we are going to do today is start from scratch. And you have to think of, like any other AI software system, you have to make sure that your prompts are detailed, specific, and that you are essentially training the AI to understand what it is that you would like to create. With Canva specifically, there are still some bugs like any other AI software as well. So for today, we want to create a document. So I could just leave it as create a document and we could get a lot of different answers, but I want to be more specific. So what I have typed out here is create an SOP template for my process of putting together content as a career coach. Something that is specific in terms of what type of document, specific in terms of what I would like the content within the document to be centered around. So think of putting these together again as detailed and as specific as you can, and you may have to continue reprompting after you've done your original prompt. So I'm going to go ahead and hit the submit button and see what Canva pulls up for us. So as you can see, Canva pulled up one template for us. Now, initially off the bat, so a few things that we could do. If we did not like this design, we can click bad response and Canva will make sure that the next time that you prompt it, it doesn't come up with anything that's close to that. And counter to that is if it's a good response, then it knows that this is the style that maybe you like with creating with AI. I'm gonna go ahead and click into this document. And as you can see, Canva brings it up a little bigger so you can get into what is included in the content SOP, the content creation SOP. And the really nice thing about Canva AI is you can now, like I said, if you prompt it specific enough, create an entire document that includes all of the things that you would normally have to create yourself, like all of the sections, information within sections. So you have the ability now to create an entire document where you realistically wouldn't have to edit anything. I would not recommend that because, again, these are going to be very specific to you still. So there is going to be some editing required, but to not have to write these 2 pages completely is an incredible feature. Now, what I will note is when it comes to making this yours for it to be branded specifically to you, that's where you could reprompt. So I'll give you one example of what that could look like. So if I go back to this Ask Me Anything prompt section on this is where I can reprompt Canva's AI to edit, start over completely, really just reprompt it to make any changes that I want to make. So for me, this yellow is just not doing it for me. So I'm going to say redo template and do not include any yellow, switch with light blue or teal, drop and white text. Let's see what this prompt brings up with Canva. And the nice thing is you can still see your old templates. So this is what it came up with for this is what it came up with my reprompt. I will go ahead and click into this so we can all take a look. So everything is the same in terms of content, but they updated the design. And to be honest, I actually like the first one better. So this is again the nice thing about Canva. I'm going to click this as a bad response and just say that it was an unsatisfactory result. I do not like the style. So now Canva knows why I don't like it and we'll use that for future. So what I'm gonna do, because I like this first template better and it has everything that I need essentially, because this is just a standard operating procedure document. This is not something that is fancy. In another video, I will go over how to create a PowerPoint and that will be a little bit more in depth when it comes to just designing. But what we are going to do from here is actually continue editing to make this match my style. So the first thing that we are going to do is break down how these documents are built. The first thing that you're going to see is this top portion. Think of this as your header or your title like you have in Microsoft Word or Google Docs. This is where you will double click to edit. And because this is Canva, you can also edit using this toolbar up here as well and access any of the other style designs from that toolbar as well. So I'm going to go ahead and double click. As you can see, Canva will load and you are brought to all the different types of template headers that you could choose from. So I'm going to go very simple with project overview, and I could add this as a new page. However, I want to replace the current page that I have, the current template. So I am going to just replace current page. And now I have this header, which is much more my style. We are going to do after this is edit the color because I only want it to be one block color. And I really like the teal that I am seeing in here. So I'm going to select teal. Now that I've changed the color, the only thing that I am going to do now is just update the text. So SOP, and I am going to duplicate this text so that I can make this part a little smaller. So when you get into this type of situation where you start typing and you lose your text, an easy way to get it back is just clicking on it and making your text a little bit smaller. So I'm gonna go with about 64. So now the only thing that I have left to do is just save. And now this is completely updated. Now, I know that you're probably looking at this and seeing that the yellow and old blue is still here. The way that we are going to edit those, clicking into the first text box, you'll see that your header comes up again, and you'll see this first color option that has no color in it. What I am going to do is find a color that I like. So as I'm looking, I would like to find the same teal color that I have used for my header up here. But as you can see, because I've used it for my header, it's not showing up as another color that I can use in this document. So what I'm gonna do is hit add new color. I'm gonna go to this little dropper icon. I'm just gonna go and click. And as you can see, it updated immediately. So now this color is in my document and I can easily update the rest of the headings. Now we've updated the headings. The last thing that I want to do before actually editing what's inside the document, text and content wise, is get rid of this yellow. So My heading text color is white, so I want that to match. So I am again going to double click and highlight the text here. Now, to be able to change this text color, you want to make sure that we go to the A and not just the color block that we see right here, because that will essentially just change the heading. So we're going to go to the A and we are going to select white, and there we have changed the color of our heading, the color of our text to white. So the last thing that I want to cover when it comes to creating a document is how to update this content in a way that you're still using AI and will have to do the least amount of work in editing. So there are two things to point out. One, if you see this quick actions plus sign, you can go ahead and click into that and you'll see all of the things that you can quickly do. Then one of the first things that comes up is magic. And so I'm going to click that and you'll see that Canva comes up with a few suggestions. I'm going to pick paragraph generator. And again, this is what Canva automatically has put in. What you could do is edit what Canva has already put into here. So this is a great way for you to edit whatever content that you have in this document to make sure that it is in more alignment with your branding, with what you're trying to get across, especially because this is a SOP document. You may not need as much fluff, or you may need to just include some information about your brand if this is something that's going to be shared with an external hire. If I wanted to generate this, which is what they have already put in for me, it comes up with a very quick paragraph for me to use. And if I wanted to insert this into this document, I would simply just hit insert, or I could hit copy and put it in a different section. So it's as easy as that. So that is how you create a document within Canva using AI. Again, make sure that you are updating your content, you're editing it to fit your branding and your style. The last thing that you're going to do again is download it, hitting the share button. Download, it is going to recommend that you download it as a PDF because that will keep all of the headings and fonts the same. So that is just something to take note of if you are trying to download. One thing that I think of as somewhat of a workaround, or something that Canva does really well, is the fact that if you are going to continue creating in Canva, you might as well have a place where all of these documents are going to be stored and are easy to, again, edit, update, and re-download. And that is by creating a project. So in order to do that, we're going to go to the left-hand side toolbar. We are going to head to the folders tab at the bottom and click create a new folder. You will label it as SOP docs and hit continue. As you can see, now we have a new folder that's created. You can see that on the left-hand toolbar or above at the top. So we are going to add this SOP template into this new folder. So we are going to go to File at the top of the page, move to Folder, and click on SOP document. We're going to move it into the folder, and now we have our first SOP document in our project so that we can easily find it and access it when we log into Canva again. Now, if you're wondering how do you get to that project once you log into Canva, if we go back to our home page, well, the first thing that we see is our recent designs below. But if we want to get in the habit or practice of going to projects, we're going to go to this left-hand side toolbar again, to projects. This will bring up all the projects that we have. And if we want to go to folders, the first folder that we see is SOP documents. So we're going to go into this folder, and as you can see, here is your standard operating procedure template. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions, what your favorite part of Canva AI is, and make sure you're subscribed to get notifications when my next video goes up, and I'll see you all on the next one.